So we're back, and these guys were talking about a derailment in Bridgeport, and they were able to get things back running in 3 days. Go ahead.
So yeah, we had the Tappy Tap gang, right?
Yeah.
Eddie R. Moore was the supervisor. That's what he named us. And a lot of the ties were askew, you know. So what we had to do was clear stone out, and then 4 guys take a tie and ram the other tie to straighten it out. And that's where the Tappy Tap came from. And we did maybe a quarter mile like that of ties, straightening them out, pulling spikes, re-spiking.
Wow. Not like today with all the machinery they got, huh?
Machinery. We had a machine back then called remember the jawbreaker? The spike puller. They had this spike puller.
Yeah, with the chain on it, you pull the spike.
Yeah, and it had a wheel with a cam on it. And when it came around, it would catch the chain. And you had 2 handles on it. You had to catch the spike. And that thing coming around, pull it up. And if it missed, it caught you.
Right.
So you guys saw the machinery come.
Oh, yeah.
You saw how automated things got. How much?
Now they've got to be air conditioned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, your air conditioning was, there was a roof and nothing on the side.
Right.
And the air went right through.
Right.
As I told you before, we took machines
Then
from...
we had then we had the water that we got it from out the yard, probably full of lead. We had to get the ice and put in there. Now they got nice, fresh, cold bottled water.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Some places we got like in New York, you got water that was yellow sometimes.
Yeah.
Around Pike, I remember getting water there, it was yellow.
Right.
So you watched.
Then another fun job was, it wasn't fun, but you had to, each man had to hold his own. I don't care how big or small you were, on the gondolas, the ties, on the floor, the ties, before they had the guy come in. Okay, this is the, right, when you go in there, I'm 6 foot, right? Okay, I'm standing up like this, 6 foot, right? Now we got the first tier, it's easy. We got the next tier, it's easy. Now you get down to the floor of the car with the tongs that we had there. Now you got to bend down, and you put it on the side of the car, and then you had the tail guy. The tail guy would kick it off.
Throw off, yeah. Yeah, and now all the cars weren't waist high to us. Some were even as high as I am.
Right.
You had to pick them up from the bottom and put them on the sill. Well, we went through Bridgeport. I think the railroad bought a few cars on that job.
Yeah.
Automobiles I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Because we throw them out of the car and on track 3 side from the edge of the
brush
tie.
there, and they go right down.
Yeah, off the wall.
Yeah.
You know, there's not that much room from the end of the rail to the end of the wall.
So we didn't care. We didn't care. They said put them out. We
Put them out.
Gave them what they wanted.
Yeah.
Gave them what they wanted.
And the railroad bought some shitty ties in them days. Man, the tie would break open and be white inside. The old ties, no matter where you cut them, they were black from the grease.
Yeah.
Not them ties. They'd break open and be white as daytime.
Yeah, they didn't last too long.
No.
They didn't last too long.
Well, from what I understand, it's supposed to last 10 years.
Yeah. Then we had this.
They rotate them.
We had this one guy, not being prejudiced or anything like that. He was a Spanish guy, and it was his first day working on the railroad, so we were putting out ties, and those ties they were really juicy back then. I mean, you slip it and slide all over the place. So he put the tie up on there, and it splashed, and it got into his eye. Hey, he was burning the hell out of me. He said, give me the water. So, you know, the guys don't think, they got a cup of water poured in. Oh, no, I think he was there, Frank. So
Probably was.
This guy was good looking. No, it's burning. So somebody said, okay, well, fuck it, they got to hold the 5 gallon.
I had a...
Well, that was creosote.
Yeah, creosote. Yeah.
We worked up there one summer. It was one of them days that was damp and hot and humid. And I got burnt in my nostrils and in my sinuses. I went to the doctors. And he says, you're burnt. He said, what have you been doing? I said, well, I told him what I did. He said, well, that's a carcinogenic creosote. Here we are, standing on it, breathing it in, and burning your nostrils.
Yeah.
We were working up in Pleasantville one time. And is it Pleasantville? No, not Pleasantville. There was that big cemetery in New York. The cemetery is so big in New York that they have a station in the cemetery.
Kensico.
Yeah,
Mount
And-
Pleasant and Kensico.
that's it.
Yeah.
And we were doing crossings through there because there was railroad crossings through there, and it was maybe about 100, 110. And there's a bunch of Seminole guys all day like this. You know, once they cut their bonds, they're standing there all day. I said to one of the guys, "Hey, you have trouble with pigeons?" And then he got the idea. You know, pigeons is statue the shit out of them. You have trouble with pigeons? Oh, I mean, come on. Go. I don't care you standing around doing it, but don't do it in front of me.
Yeah, right.
Some guys got no brains.
So you watched things change with the machinery, and you probably also watched as they hired people that you had to be sensitive to, that you couldn't curse, or you might not have been able to call him an asshole because
That's
he'd be
another
offended.
thing. That's another thing, because with this new railroad now, if a guy came out down the railroad, he was a little shaky, like, you know, like the way we see him. Like I just said, "Hey Frank, that fucking faggot over there."
And we had foremen that took people into the woods, right?
Yeah,
And you didn't say a damn thing when you came back.
right.
No.
I remember one time they had these two foremen, and everybody thought I was afraid of them. It was our foreman, Charlie Hubbard. He was a big guy. He was about 6'3",
Oh, you're
weighed
huge,
about
man.
300 pounds or better. Then they had this other one. His name was John Eagle. So me and Hubbard got into an argument, which we always did. So Eagle told Charlie, he said, "Charlie," he said, "I wouldn't argue with him if I'd take him in the woods." I said, "Well, goddamn it, you take me in the woods." I said, "You put on your pants the same way I put on mine." That was the end of that. You know?
I was on a job up on the New Canaan, I believe it was. You know where Bob Shop Motors was, and the wire factory was on the other side of the track. There was a siding there.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
we were putting an insulated joint in. And remember Pete Metaferri? He was the foreman out of Stanford.
Yeah,
And
Pete.
Frank Membley was the supervisor.
Yeah.
And now Charlie knew his business, and he knew how to run his men. And he was going to give you the best break he could. So Pete Metaferri wanted to do the job. This is a racial thing, by the way. Pete Metaferri wanted to do it one way. And Charlie Hubbard says, "No, we're not going to do it that way." So the supervisor there, I mentioned his name there a minute ago. Anyhow, he said to the supervisor, Charlie said, "We're going to do it this way. We're going to get it done faster. We're getting out of here." He said, "Okay, do it." Pete Metaferri said to Frank Membley, the supervisor, he says, "You're only doing it this way because he's black." Not that, right? Mm-hmm. I thought Charlie was going to kill him. And we had a foreman, Richie, your buddy there, Massacre. This young man, I mean, he had arms like tree trunks. Now, Charlie Hubbard was a big man in his own right. He grabs Charlie around the waist. Now, Charlie's still coming. And this man, he's got him in a body lock. It's still in. Finally, Metaferri told the other guy, "You and your men get out of here."
Yeah.
And we did it the way Charlie Hubbard did. And it was so stupid. And say, I don't remember exactly, but say the way Pete wanted to do it in 2 hours, we did it maybe 45 minutes. Why are you arguing? You're going to get out of the cold just as fast as us. Mm-hmm. It just was a thing, you know?
Yep.
Were you there that day? Oh man, I thought if it wasn't for Master Burger, Charlie would have probably went to jail.
Yeah.
Because I mean, and you know, Mac was a bull. He grabbed him right around, and Charlie's legs were still.
I remember, what's his name? Dominic Rossetti.
Yeah,
Dominic Rossetti, yeah.
he was the welder.
Yeah. Pot welder.
Yeah,
Yeah. I was drinking at the time. Dominic said, "Hey," he had a little light voice. "Hey, Arty." You know, "What you want, Dominic? Come here, I got something to tell you." And from where we were working at, Dominic lived about, 4 or 5 houses down, the little store there. Remember the little store? And then the
in
apartments?
Stanford,
No, in,
Bridgeport.
no, it was in New York.
Oh, Worcester, New Rochelle.
The next little town.
I know we dropped him off one time.
Larchmont, Mamaroneck,
Mount Vernon.
Mount Vernon.
It had to be Mount Vernon. Yeah, the outskirts of Mount Vernon. Yeah, the outskirts of Mount Vernon, yeah.
Wow.
Come here, Arty. Where you want? Damn it, come here. Because that was the tone of his voice, you know. Okay, Dominic.
You know, when you had arguments though with guys, it didn't keep progressing.
No.
It would be over.
The only time it
never escalated.
The only time it kept a grudge is when you had a real idiot in the gang. You know, sometimes you can't help it. You're tired, it's hot, or it's cold, and you're beat, and you fly off the handle. But by the next day, you're buddies again. But then you get these guys that are just aggravators. They'll do anything to aggravate a crew.
Like I said, I remember he was working up, it was somewhere, and it was getting late. I mean, it was getting real late. So Charlie told, it was on a Saturday night too, Charlie told our bus driver, Dick, to go in town, pick him up his bottle. So, like I said, me and Dick was real close. So Dick said, hey, Arty, I said, he said, Charlie just sent me in, want me to go in town to pick up his bottle. Get mine too, Dick. So Dick came back. So now Charlie, like Frank said, he was a big guy. He gonna sit up there with his bottle. He drank a Johnny Walker Red. He was drinking Johnny Walker Red. So then, so Dick said, Arty, you want to pick me up a bottle. So I was drinking White Label, Dude's White Label at the time. So he said, oh, come up there. Hey, Arty, look, give me that damn bottle. You ain't getting my bottle. You got yours up there? Yeah, well, you drink yours. I'm going to sit back here and drink mine.
We were putting a switch in up at Sperry Rail, and that's Bethel, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sperry Rail. And so it's Saturday night. It's probably around this time of the year, probably around 7:30. We're heading in. So I was the welder at the time, and the operators always rode with me. I had to clean his truck. So-called. So anyhow, just before we get on 84, they say to me, stop at the package store. Well, right there at the entrance to 84 is a package store. So I stopped there, and somebody or whoever, they all go in and get their stuff, come out. And who goes by me but Hallie? Hallie's the supervisor at the time. We all thought he was long gone. He must have been laying waiting for us because he had left the job for a while. So he goes by. I don't say nothing. So now Monday morning comes. So one of the guys comes into the locker room and said, Frank, the principal wants you. So I go in the office, and Hallie says to me, what are you doing at the package store Saturday night? I said, the guys wanted to buy cigarettes. What do you mean they wanted to buy cigarettes? You find another store? I said, look, I'm getting near the highway. I want to go home. They said, stop for cigarettes. I stopped. And that was it.
That was it.
He knew I was lying. What am I going to do? You know, come on. We're buying cigarettes.
Yeah, they used to do stuff like that.
Proof different.
Yeah, that's before the package stores would open on Sunday.
Yeah.
You know, like that. So now here you working, package stores close at 8 o'clock, and you getting off of work at 7:30, and you got to come all the way back to New Haven. It's dry. You know,
by the time you New Haven, it's 8:30, 9 o'clock.
Yeah, you know, so it's dry. So you stop by a package, you coming home, you stop by a package store and say, hey, Frank, whoever drive, pull over here, man. I want to get some stuff for Sunday, you know. Like that. Give it here. It's crazy. Give it here.
Nobody ratted anybody out either.
No, we didn't do that for.
Not like today, huh?
The supervisors did the same thing. Come on.
Sure.
Yeah, right. I tell you, Andy, what's his name? Steve
Arty, yeah.
Yeah, his brother Andy.
Andy, he was the bus driver.
Yeah, no, not Andy, the bus driver.
Oh, I know. In Stanford.
In
yes.
Stanford, yeah. So we was out there working one day, but it was cold. So Steve came by. He said, "Damn, it's cold out here today, huh?" I said, "Yeah, it sure is, Andy." Don't worry about it. You open up his truck, brought out a bottle, took a hit, saved the bottle, took a hit. Now we feel better, don't we?
I'll tell you, the first time I had a drink on the railroad, I was working up at Cedar Hill. I was a car knocker at the time. I covered a lot of jobs. But anyhow, I'm walking the drag, and my partner's on the other side, I don't know if he was ahead of me or behind me, but I hear, "Hey kid," look around, and I look, and here's this guy, Jigger O'Neill. Now Jigger O'Neill was an old-time Irish guy, wore bib overalls and a cocked hat, and had a big red nose. I used to say to him, "Hey Jigger, is it the hat or is it the head that's crooked?" He used to say, "It's the head, you boy, it's the head." So anyhow, he calls me he's in between a boxcar, and he had a pint of ginger brandy. He said, "Here, this will warm you up." And for those who don't know, Cedar Hill, the freight yard, was in the middle of a swamp. And when it was cold, it was merciless cold. And that warmed me up. That was the first time I ever took a hit on the railroad.
Wow. Well, we've heard a lot of stories, and I want to thank both of you for your time.
Okay.
And I hope our listeners are going to appreciate this. I know they will, because
There's a lot of
this
life.
is all real.
Yeah.
This is all real, not rehearsed or anything like that. Not like watching Survivor on TV.
There's no rehearsal for real life.
No, there's no rehearsal for real life. I want to thank both of you very much.
More than
Okay.
welcome. Anytime.
Yeah.